Now let us see how we can actually provision server from OVH. For this, you just go to ovh.com in the browser, okay, and then they have different products, but for our interest, we'll be using this dedicated part and we'll be provisioning the server of our desired configuration. Let me click on this dedicated servers here, and it will actually show uh, the quick service where you can pick up most commonly used configurations. But to get into list of all these servers they provide, you can click on this OVH full dedicated server series, okay, and then you can see the list here. You can filter based upon the data center from which you want to provision the servers, uh, and different other criteria. And more importantly, you can filter on price and also on number of CPUs or threads, and also on the RAM. Okay, so in this case, I am primarily looking for 8 core 16 threads. That's the only configuration I'm looking for, so I'm filtering out these things. And when it comes to RAM, I am looking for 64 GB RAM. The reason why I'm going with this configuration is uh, I want to demonstrate several things on this server. That's why I'm going with this. And you can see it will cost $143.99 per month. So I can click on configure here, and then either I can order for a week or a month. So let me order for a month. And here you can actually pay for it either by using PayPal or whatever it is. Okay, so you can hit continue here, and you can see the other rental period. It can be 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. So if you look at the price now, it doesn't change uh, uh, between monthly price, quarterly price, half yearly price, yearly price, but there is a contract. So there is a low probability that if they there is a probability that and they might increase the price because OVH gives at a very competitive price, and in future they might increase the price. If you go for longer lease, in for whatever reason, you might get at a today's price. So that's the only advantage of going for longer term. Okay, so depending upon your preference, you can choose the term. Let's take the example of 1 month. It will show you the complete price, and then continue. Now you have to create an account if you don't have account. So let's assume that you don't have account. Create an account. You have to sign up with your email, password, etc., and then it will take you for the payment. I already have the account, so let me log in with that account itself, with the account I have. Okay, now I can hit continue here, accept the terms. It is still loading. Yeah, now I can click on acceptance of the contract, and then hit continue. Now I can add a new payment or use existing payment, uh, and then hit continue. And now either you can use pay with credit card or PayPal, or you can directly go with card also. So you can choose whatever you want, and you can complete the payment. I will stop here. I will not get further because I'm not going to procure the server right now. I already have it. And the way you can access the server once you make the payment is by clicking on web control panel. So you need to log in again, and you will get all the list of servers by expanding this dedicated servers. Okay, and then you can choose the server you want. I have expanded and I have selected this, and you will get an email whenever that server is procured. So there might be some lag between when you submit the request and when you get the server. It might take several hours also sometimes. Sometimes it might be done in few minutes. Okay. Once you have this, if it is completely new, uh, you will see install button here, but I have something already on this machine, that's why it is showing reinstall. Otherwise it will show you the install button. You just have to click on it, and then you can choose install from an OVH template. Click on next. Expand this Linux. I am planning to install CentOS 7. It is grouped under Linux. Select CentOS 7 and then scroll down, and then you need to customize the partition configuration. So when you procure the server, on top of 64 GB RAM and 16 cores, they also give two 2 terabyte hard drives attached to the server. Okay, and if you leave it like this, it will create partitions based on those hard drives. Whatever uh, um, is the default configuration OVH determines. In this case, I want to customize the partition. That's why I click on this and then go to next. And the default configuration will be like this. There will be mount point for root file system, which is only 40 GB, and rest of the stuff goes to home directory, a partition mounted to home directory, and its size is 2.1 GB. Overall, even though they provide two hard drives of 2 terabytes, which is 4 terabytes of storage, because of the RAID mirroring enabled, you will be able to use only 2 terabytes of storage. Okay, so to actually use the entire storage for our learning purpose, we can disable the RAID and then we can take it further. So I am deleting this partition which is mounted to home, and I want to expand the root partition itself because I'm only learning. I don't need additional mount points. Everything I want to mount on the root file system itself to keep it simple. And I have disabled the RAID, so now I can actually use 4 terabytes of storage, and then changing this 4, and then I will be using the entire storage. Okay, so this will actually cover 99% of the storage, and then select the tick mark, validate this partition without saving, and then click on next. So we are trying to use the entire storage which is available to us. Still there is 203 GB available. I'm fine with it. Click on next, and then I want to give the name. So the name of this server will be demo.itversity.com, and then make sure you choose install original kernel. If you do not use install original kernel, then you might have some issues while installing some of the softwares from Red Hat repositories or Centos repositories. What does that mean? So OVH is a uh, provider who actually rents the servers out, and they have their own custom kernel. So, and by default, they prefer to use their own custom kernels because they have better control over the servers, and hence they set up the servers with their kernel. But there can be gap between their custom kernel and the open source kernel, and it can cause some issues while installing some of the softwares. So better to use original kernel so that you don't hit any surprises. For exploratory purposes, you are good to go, and then say confirm. Okay, now it will start setting up the system. It will install operating system on that 64 GB 32 cores 4 terabyte machine. It will take a while. It will take 10-15 minutes, and then you will get an email with password. And once you get that information, you can log in and you can take care of the rest of the steps.